So, have you seen the Bitcoin price today? I think they were talking last week about how Bitcoin is on par with equities, but we see a clear divergence today. Part of this has to do with the fact that stock markets across the world are feeling the effects of the Russian market crashing and the ruble going to rubble. At the end of the day, guys, this right here kind of shows you the purpose of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency as a whole, because everything's up today if you can't see that. Now, we are going to pay attention to this. Price can rapidly come right back down. There are a number of really big imbalances to the downside. So are we anticipating that price is going to level out and sort of clear some of those imbalances? I'm pretty sure. Not sure if it's going to happen today, though. But Mondays, typically a day that'll get you wrecked if you're on the wrong side of the market, and this is proving itself out as we speak. If you were thinking short this morning, good luck to you. I hope you put on a stop loss. For people who are long, I would say you will go ahead and sit in this for a while. Price did grab some liquidity to the left that we're going to take a look at. But for the most part, it's looking like a very, very, very impressive day for all of crypto today. We are also going to talk about a trade that we took on Friday. Things got a little rough for us, but then we turned it right around and we're able to close out actually at break even. So no losses on the account. Let's just pull up the paper trading account real quick so folks can see. We're now currently sitting at 25,130 of the challenge. We will be taking some opportunities this week, but Monday's the day that we like to kind of sit on our hands, let the market settle up a little bit and see where the opportunities may lie. And at the moment they are looking short, but we have to let price play itself out first. All right, so lots to talk about today. Let's go ahead and get into it. It's your boy Maestro. Welcome to The Long and Short. Let's go. Welcome to The Long and Short. Maestro here. Thanks for tuning in. Every day on this channel, we try to make you a better crypto trader by showing you smart money, price action trading techniques from a long and a short-term perspective. Right now, we're currently engaged in a $25,000 to $50,000 trading challenge on demo. Don't get it twisted. We're not trading live money. Trying to be pretty aggressive in the market and take some chances out there to see how fast we can actually grow an account or blow an account. So if you're interested in coming along on this journey, learning how to trade, figuring out some things in this cryptocurrency market with us, you know what to do. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the Bitcoin price this morning, very, very, very aggressive to the upside. Soon as New York opened, you know, the price just kind of took off. So this is the New York hour, 9 a.m. Pow, you just shot through the roof. Okay, now we're clearing out a couple of different levels of imbalances to the left. So let's just squeeze this out some so we can see things. Now, in our previous video, we drew this level of liquidity here, and we said that price should go for these areas of liquidity, right? And you see that it went there very aggressively, but now it's starting to scale back a little bit. This should concern you if you are anticipating prices to keep pushing up higher. Now, the one saving grace, I think, in the market right now for Bitcoin is the fact that you do have the markets down. Now, last week, if you would have played that correlation, you would have been successful. But this week, if you would have played that correlation, not so successful, right? Stocks are down, Bitcoin is up. So what are we really looking at here? You have world events that are going on, and things are pretty hectic in the market. So let's go ahead and take a look at our market perspective and take a look at our outlook so that we can figure out where we may be wanting to trade in the next few hours to, you know, the next 24 hours. Let's see. All right, a few things coming up in the market that we need to pay attention to. FOMC meeting coming the 15th and 16th. So it's the end of February. We're pushing right into March, full speed ahead. The conflict in Ukraine is dragging worldwide markets right now, right? The Russian stock market cratered, right? And that's affecting other markets worldwide. They took Russia off of SWIFT. This is going to have longer implications than people are really anticipating right now. So I think that you have to be very tentative about how you play the market right now. You may see some crazy price swings and volatility all the rest of March, okay, just based on what's happening in Ukraine and what's happening with Russia. All right, so just be aware. Things may get choppy. Things may be very dangerous in regards to any position that you're putting on. And we're bringing that knowledge into trading with us, knowing that you may get some very explosive moves, but you may get very explosive moves against you as well. All right, so we're going to be playing the market very cautiously. We're going to make sure we're using stop losses. We're going to make sure we're not on the wrong side of trades for long, okay? And we're going to make sure that we're using the proper risk management, because if we don't, this is the type of like arena where you can definitely blow an account. All right. Market uncertainty is also present in the US market, so we're going to be watching that. And Bitcoin is moving in correlation with equities more than gold, but not today. Okay, not today. Bitcoin blasted off this morning. Equities dropped. All right, been watching the financial news. Things look pretty grim in the stock market, all because, of course, the world economy is connected, guys. All right, if something happens in Russia that affects their stock market, it's going to affect China's stock market, and that's going to affect the US stock market, and that's going to affect the EU stock market. It's a big circular saw that's just going to keep going around, and different people are going to get cut at different times. All right, so beware. That's all we're saying. Now, in these volatile markets, there's a lot of opportunity for traders, but you have to be careful, as we mentioned before, because this market will completely swing against you in the wrong way. And if you're not watching, and if you're not putting on stop losses, and if you're lollygagging off somewhere while your trade is on, that's the easiest way to get wrecked at this point. Okay. For example, if you put on a short this morning at 9 a.m., okay, and you went to make coffee and took a shower and then came back to the charts, you were either stopped out or your account was pretty much in the red in a pretty substantial way. Okay, so that's how fast, 15, 20 minutes, this market will move that fast on you. Okay, so beware. That's all we're going to say. Okay, so what's our outlook? Our bias is still neutral to bearish, but based on what we're seeing today, I want to see how far price can climb. And we're going to take a deeper look into, some levels and some areas that we're paying attention to. And if price can continue to break market structure to the top side, then that neutral will turn from bearish to bullish up until the FOMC. All right. It's all about where your power is coming from. Now, there's a few things on, Bitcoin futures that we're going to take a look at for the last day of the month. And this isn't really giving us a clear indication on which way price wants to go. But things seem to be looking a little bit more bearish as March kind of drags out. So you have to be aware that there's some things that could push this market down as well, even though we're seeing really good aggressive price movement today. All right. Now, we still may be stuck in these ranges that we're trading, right? So we may be searching for the highs of the range today, but you can see an aggressive pushback down towards the end of the week. Remember, Bitcoin tends to flip. Whatever it's doing from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it flips it. Okay. So if Monday and Tuesday are aggressive, look out for Thursday and Friday. You may start to retrace some of that move to put us back in that range. All right. And again, the weekend was kind of light, but we're expecting market volatility this week. We wrote this up yesterday and boom, look at Monday morning. This is what we get. All right. Monday's always tricky. And it's proven to be pretty tricky right now. So let's dive into our trade. Let's take a look at what we actually saw on this trade and what we had to go through on this trade to show you guys how we actually made $2 on the positive. Let's go. Okay, so the main area that we want to break down right here is just all of these red down arrows and these blue up arrows. Okay, now this was Friday night, I believe. Okay, it's around 7 p. We had just sort of got done recording the last video and we saw price starting to make a move in a run up into this liquidity. Now, what do we always say, right? When price reaches into liquidity, and if we look left here, you can see where the levels are, okay? So price came up to about there. It spiked all of this liquidity to the top side, but it really didn't take everything else out, right? Which it did today. But one thing that it did do, right, was give us confidence that price was going to start to fall a little bit once we started to see these other candles starting to kick in. Now, this is a 1 hour time frame, but this was very hectic to deal with if per se you were on a 15-minute time frame. So let's zoom this out again and scale up a little bit so that you guys can see that some of the moves that were actually being played here. All right, so soon as we saw price shooting up like this, okay, we started thinking short. And the reason we were thinking short was because he had liquidity here, even set, broken. Even set here, broken, right? So we're thinking, okay, you took all of the liquidity to the top side. You basically set these traders up for failure. And we saw that, right? The higher grab here also took out levels to the far left. Now, once we see this in the market, we're starting to think short. So we put the first short order on. And let me show you, let's actually go to the 1 minute chart. Okay, so now we're on the 1 minute chart. Okay, you can see that highlighted here. And what we're going to walk you through is the trade that we saw right off the bat. So we saw that price was starting to create some imbalances to the downside. And for whatever reason, I went short right here when I actually should have really went short as soon as price spiked through that liquidity. All right, but this actually put me down in the trade. I think I was just being anxious, and I saw it climbing up there, and I'm like, yep, we're getting ready to go short. And I just had the feeling, I was watching price action, and I'm like, yep, Asia's opening up. These are all of the proper conditions that I need to see for us to go short. Now, I got in just a little too early, and that was the mistake, right? Because I had to ride this price action all the way up here, okay, until I essentially collapsed the trade. Now, the first collapse, we took a loss. So let's pull up these actual numbers here so you guys can see this in the account history. So the first loss I took was for 126, okay? So we were down 126, but I wasn't done. I told myself this is gonna turn around eventually, but where's price gonna reach to? And the level was actually answered for me, earlier in the day when I drew out this area of liquidity, okay, that we showed you guys earlier. So price spiked right into this thing, took out everything to the left of it, all right? And then it started coming down aggressively. Now, as price got here, check this out, guys. I put on one short, it fell. Very aggressively, I took the short off. So that's where that first red and blue candle come in, okay? Then when I saw it kept going, I put another short on, all right? Closed it again. So that was the second out, okay? Now, that was these two trades here. So one for 39, one for $2. But price was fighting. I mean, it was going up, going down, going up, going down, going up, going down. So I had to time it. It was very good timing, to say the least. Now, if I was smart, right, and I would have just followed my convictions, I would have just stayed in the trade, because these two positions here ultimately grew into very advantageous positions, right? We'll scale out a bit more and show you how far price actually dropped after this. But this was the third entry, all right? Third entry, I got out about here, and that was the $59 win, all right? And then the fourth entry came here, because at this point I was feeling myself. I said, you know what? We got it. It's going the right way. But then as this entry came in, everything started moving sideways, right? So you can see that here. Everything's moving sideways. Everything's moving sideways. So eventually we just got tired of watching it and collapsed the trade, and that's the last exit right there. So altogether, we came off $2 better than 126. I think the total winnings was around 128, 129. Okay, so we were able to climb sort of out of a hole, put ourselves back into a better position, and things actually turned out pretty well for the night, right? So lots of movement, lots of tense moments, because, when price shoots up like this, it can retrace and then pow, sort of shoot back through the roof. And that's what I was watching for. If you look to the left over here, right, you had this imbalance area. And once I saw price really starting to clear some of that out, I just got out, right? I said, break even, get out the trade, enjoy your Friday night. Don't stress nothing out. It's okay. All right. But you see, price just kept going lower. If we zoom this out some, right, this would have been a pretty good trade. It eventually broke, but I would have had to sit in this, right? I would have had to sit through periods of being up, being down, right? And you don't want to do that when you're trading, right? The entire objective is to get in and out and take advantage of when you think price is retracing the previous move to continue the larger move. Here's what you have to realize. If you're on a 1 hour time frame, 2 hour time frame, okay, you're going to see smaller increments in regards to movements in price, right? But when you're on the 5 minute time frame, you're going to launch from different areas. But all of this is just a microcosm of what happens in 1 or 2 candles if you're on, say, the 2 or 3 hour chart, okay? So ultimately, what we want to take a look at is how price sort of created imbalances, filled them, right? Created imbalances, filled them. Created imbalances, filled them. You can see it on both sides. And when you're on 5 minute charts like this, you can definitely play the market both ways, right? You can see imbalance created, try to go up and fill it, didn't fill it completely, price falls some more, right? If you just keep going, then welcome to Monday. You take everything out. All right, so all of the speculation over the weekend for people who were going short got answered today. All right, and this is currently where price is sitting. So I would say it wasn't a bad trade, but it wasn't a good trade. All right, we definitely could have executed a lot better if we were just patient and if we weren't so nerve-wracked. And I think if it wasn't a Friday afternoon or Friday night, we probably would have sat in it for a lot longer. just to see what happened with price. Put on some stops and just saw what happened. But for the most part, we're pretty happy with that. And we sat on our hands this morning because we expected the market to be volatile. And if it is volatile, if it's not going in our direction, then we'll wait and see what price does. So at the current moment, if you're on a 5-minute chart, you have imbalances to the downside. But let's scroll out to the hourly to see what actually may be going on, sort of on a higher time frame, and then break down some possible opportunities here. Okay, so what are we looking at right now in price? You have two imbalances created here. All right, two pretty big ones too. And you can pretty much say that this entire area is now an imbalance in price, right? Like if you were to go out to the daily chart or say the 4-hour chart, okay, yeah, this is the area that you're dealing with right now. So do I think that price is going to come back and retrace back into some of this area? Yes, but not until it achieves some more of this to the upside, all right? So we showed the one imbalance area. So we showed the one imbalance area here around 41. The next one, the up is around 42.5. And then you have one more area, small area of imbalance and liquidity sitting there, all right? After that, we would have to scale out a little bit more, set some additional levels. But this is sort of a parabolic push, guys, right? Very aggressive. Let's see if it's going to be maintained into the afternoon for New York. But I will watch for the New York reversal today. That may actually be an opportunity to catch if price does start to turn around sometime near lunch, okay, Eastern Standard Time. All right, but that's what we're looking at for Bitcoin. I would say that, if you're riding this long, you will want to start to take some profits around these areas just simply because this is where price may start to get pushed back a little bit. But what is the driving force behind Bitcoin today, right? I think it's the overall markets and the fact that stock markets looks very shaky right now, and crypto has been looked at as a place where you can put money and it's not necessarily going to be affected by the stock market. All right, so I think people are recognizing this a little bit today, and you're starting to get some really big institutional buys. This isn't retail, folks. This is institutions. Somebody's parking some money in Bitcoin today. All right, so very interesting to see. Let's take a look at the overall broader markets. Let's scale out a little bit, take a look at some levels, because I'm pretty sure that we've had quite a few different areas that got hit in regards to scale in and scale out for our longer time frame. So let's take a look at this. All right, so taking a look at the Bitcoin daily, we are breaking back into this low premium zone here very aggressively, right? So will we fill this imbalance on the daily candle? That's a possibility, okay? But how far we go up here may be tested by the FOMC, which is these two blue lines here, okay? Now, again, scaling in to scale out, you can see it here again, guys. A good scale in position around 34 was achieved last week, right? And then now you're pushing up higher into the low premium zones from discount to low premium. All right, so we're going to continue to keep playing these levels and trying to make sure that we're using some discipline when it comes to our charts and where we're getting in, where we're scaling in, where we're scaling out, right? So right now, I would say if you got in anywhere in the discount zone for Bitcoin, somewhere around 34 to 36, right? You're starting to get to some levels where you may want to start to think about taking some profits and scaling off once you start to fill these imbalances and some of this liquidity to the top side starts to get grabbed. But Bitcoin looking beautiful today. Let's take a look at ETH. Now, what do we tell you about ETH, right? Go back and watch every single video that we made and that has Ethereum in it, okay? We talked about Ethereum coming back down to 2401. And when it does, it probably won't stay there for long, so good place to scale in. You can see, spike the level, take off. Sits in that discount just for a little while, and then it takes off, guys. And all of this knowledge is just gained from looking backwards, right? Looking to the left. This is the easiest way for you to get a perspective on what's actually happening with price. Zoom out, take a look, and you'll see levels that are protected. All right, so ETH drops down to 2401, spends a day there, and gets out of there very quickly, back to a low premium zone. And if you would have taken this trade, you would have been up somewhere around, let's just see, my magnet's on. Take that magnet off. You would have been up somewhere around, let's go from the line to here. This is already 18% gain, okay? So just very simple concepts, folks. Scale in, scale out. Understand where you're putting your lines here, okay? And if you're looking for how to draw some of these charts up, how we deal with liquidity, how we deal with imbalances, go ahead and hit that card at the top and you'll be brought to a different video that kind of shows you the ins and outs on how a lot of this works. All right, but Ethereum looking beautiful right now. Let's take a look at Terra Luna, which is another one, guys. Just look at this. Look at this. Scale out anywhere in the discount zone, guys. You buy down here in the discount zones, you get the launches. Breaks of liquidity, super hard pushes up. And look, it takes out scale out zones like it's nothing, right? We've been talking about Luna for a few weeks now. And this right here is showing me that it has more power behind it than a lot of other things in the crypto space right now. Okay, so this is very aggressive. We should be testing all-time highs here relatively soon. Not sure when, but you know, Luna doesn't stick around long in these zones. So I'm pretty sure we'll be drawing out new you know, potential premium and discount areas pretty soon on Luna as well. But man, this is beautiful. Beautiful move today from Luna as well. Let's take a look at AVAX, which has been another winner recently, right? Scale out, levels get hit, discount to low premium zone. You're kind of playing this line right here. Okay, so AVAX, we would say, is a good discount buy anywhere around 59 bucks. Okay, can price come back down here? Definitely. You know, but right now AVAX is kind of taking the I would say midline approach to price movement today. It's not moving the best, but it's not moving bad at all at 7%, right? But there's other cryptos out here that are literally rocketing off. Solana's rocketing right now. Cardano's up 9%, Atom's up 9%, Matic's up 7%, right? So let's just go through a couple of more of these just to see, right? This is what we want to see from Cardano. Cardano's been getting pushed, right? We said anything around the 89-cent level to a dollar level, goodbye for Cardano, right? Now, we were kind of eating our words a little bit a few days ago, but the 89-cent level and anything in that bargain zone, we told you guys, right? 81 cents. This is a drop dead buy for Cardano. We've said this, boom, look at what you get, all right? So these levels matter, right? And as long as we keep proving it to ourselves, then we can hold some weight to it. If you draw a level and price just crashes through it and you don't get the per se resistance that you're looking for, then you have to rescale, you have to recalibrate, right? If these things weren't lining up for us and we weren't seeing bounces at these areas, the way that things are kind of moving along, then we would have to recalibrate. But right now, these things are proving true. All right, let's take a look at a few more. The biggest winners, right? Atom, another one, right? Scale in, bow. You hit the bottom, you start reaching into those low premium zones, okay? And we're back up again. Now, these are the things that are going to happen in the market. These are the fluctuations that you're going to see in the market. Atom, no exception. All right, so very nice positive move today, 9%. Who's the biggest winner on our tracker list? I think it was Luna, but let's take a look at Solana as well, right? Another pretty nice price movement for Solana, right? But Solana's been kind of crushed into this little consolidated area. So we want to see it break out, right? If it breaks out of this, then definitely start looking for low premium zones. You have imbalances to the top side here that Solana definitely needs to clear out. All right, so lots of pretty good movement on the market today. You do want to be careful. Things could come back down as aggressively, right? The market is in a bit of a shifty way right now. I would say it's probably one of the trickiest times in the market to trade. You're not really sure what's going to happen next. The news isn't giving you any clues. The markets are just sort of fluctuating in their own ways right now. But you want to follow the institutional money. So the way that we'll go ahead and close up this video is just taking a quick look at Bitcoin futures for the last day of February. Okay, so what do we say here? Price is sitting under that 13 EMA. Can it push above it? We'll see. Right now, the market seems to be draining a little bit when it comes to money, but we need to take a look at March contracts is what we'll do tomorrow as well. Your open interest is completely down for February, of course, end of the month, and your largest speculators seem to have swung net short, okay? Now, they may be playing it the same way that they're playing the equity plays, but if people are buying Bitcoin, they'll turn around, all right? I'm pretty sure, but your retail is definitely buying Bitcoin. You know, I think cryptocurrency is proving itself as a use case in a lot of different ways right now. And unfortunately, it takes something like a war for people to see the value in not having banks control everything that you do. And I think that there's going to be a higher need for things like this. So when people talk about the scarcity of Bitcoin, that's a real thing. All right. And if the prices of cryptocurrency are generally driven by the price movement of Bitcoin, as we all know is true, then you should put some weight to that as well. All right. And it doesn't matter. Most people think, oh, I can never buy a whole Bitcoin. You don't need a whole Bitcoin, all right? Get portions of a Bitcoin. Just stack your Satoshis, guys. When prices are declining, when prices are low, when the market seems like it's the darkest, that's the time to buy. Just think of yourself as like a covert spy buying in the dark of the night when no one's looking. You don't have to tell anyone you did it, but you're doing it for you. All right. And this is the thing that I want everyone to understand, that this asset class is not going anywhere. In fact, it's proving itself to be something of major value when in fact the world goes into turmoil. All right. And these new use cases that we're seeing here, especially with technologically advanced countries, right? I think it's a bit different if we're talking about maybe the US and Afghanistan, right? But you're talking about Ukraine, right, which is very technologically advanced. You're talking about Russia, very technologically advanced. Both countries mine and participate in crypto. You're starting to see when two countries that participate in crypto, like in a major way, when they go to war, what happens in the crypto market, right? You're starting to see a boom here. So let's watch it. Let's watch it. I think it's going to be very interesting. All right. Taking a look at the elder ray, everything's down in bearish territory. Money flow index and accumulation distribution sort of sitting sideways. But yeah, guys, I mean, it's a very interesting time to be alive right now. We do want to send our best wishes to all of the folks in Ukraine. Continue to fight for what you believe in. Continue to fight for your homeland. We think that, everything that you're doing there is saluted. Market's interesting right now, so we'll see if there's some opportunity that starts to align for us as the day goes on, and try to make a little bit more money in this portfolio for the challenge. But once again, it's your boy Maestro. This is the long and short. If you like the content of this video, you know what to do, right? I shouldn't have to tell you. You know what to do. I shouldn't have to tell you. We out of here, man. Peace.